but be sure that anywhere such a person will rise, then the biggest majority will raise against him, just as the biggest majority of the people raised against this great teacher called Jesus of Nazareth, and they ended up nailing him on the cross. For what sin? Nothing. He committed no sin. The only sin he committed, according to them, is destroying their norms, is destroying their hate. They wanted to have their right to hate. So I'm getting a question here. Why do you think that Christ said that his kingdom is not of this world? So that's a very, very interesting question. Christ alisema hivyo, my kingdom is not from this earth. So why Christ alisema hivyo ni ati it's obvious that the things that Christ aliteach zilikuwa zina sound crazy ama insane to the people who walikuwa na listen to him. Those were the high priests, those were the Pharisees, those were the Sadducees, those were the majority of people, to an extent that when Christ alikuwa to be chosen between him and Barnabas, the gangster, the killer, the robber, people chose that Barnabas should be set free and Christ should die. Imagine the guy who taught love, the guy who showed compassion, the guy who ali show mercy, the guy who healed a lot of people, the guy who taught a lot of wisdom, the guy who ali share, the guy who ali do a lot of good things. When a time came for the masses to choose him or Barnabas, whom to be released and who to be murdered, imagine the masses wali choose Barnabas, the gangster, the rapist, the guy who alikuwa amekill a lot of people, alikuwa amefanya a lot of crimes. So that was a very, very good indication of Christ's words were true, that these people would even prefer a gangster than Christ or Jesus of Nazareth, because there's something in his teachings that these people hated, or they found them what can I call it, they found his words offending or hurting to an extent that they will choose that one who raped a lot of people, that one who stole, that one who did a lot of crimes. So it's clear but from that question and from the Bible instances that Christ's teachings were not from this earth. Let's consider another instance. There's a time that Christ will teach these people and they will start claiming that this guy is mad, and they will claim that he has a demon. When he told them if they listen to his teaching and practice it, they won't die. And they said, Abraham, our grandfather, died. How can you say that if you practice your teaching, you won't die? Do you want to claim that you are greater than Abraham? So according to the masses and to the people who lived around Jesus of Nazareth, they saw him as a freak, as a guy who was kind of insane, as a guy who committed abomination after abomination, and they couldn't take it any longer. In fact, they would take a gangster, they will take a rapist, they will take a robber than this guy who talked everything outside of their understanding or outside of their norms. So it's clear, but there is not only in those times. If Christ resurrected in these times, or if a person decided to practice the teachings of Christ in these times, then the people of these times would also find him or would also find those words as offending as the Pharisees of those days and the Sadducees and the high priests found those words in those times. So the world has not changed. The words of Christ would, if preached directly as Christ preached them 2,000 years ago, if those words, those same words, they will be repeated in these times, then the masses of these times will find the words as offending as the Pharisees found those words offending. So what does that, or where am I leading this to? What I want to tell you is that the teachings of Christ are not of this world, and the soul or the the power that guided the Pharisees in those times is the same power guiding the masses of these times. And if those the people of those times murdered Christ for his teachings, be sure that if those teachings will be conveyed to the people of this time, because that spirit or that kind of, what can I call it, that soul or that commonality between those people of those times and the people of this time, that thing that has never died, which loves sinning, which loves hating others, which loves fighting, which loves quarrels, which loves anger, which loves revenge, that what can I call it, that spirit, because it has never died and it has never left the earth. If the teachings of Christ, which would teach about loving your enemies and loving your neighbors as yourself and loving your brothers and loving and forgiving those who persecute you, if anyone will raise with those words, then be sure that that which loves to hate, just like it loved to hate 2000 years ago, will raise in these times against that one who claims that we should forgive, we should not revenge, we should love our neighbors. So where I'm leading to is that the Christ teachings are not of this world, and whenever the Christ teachings will be taught in these times, 2000 years later, 2000 years ago, the masses of this world, or the people of this world, will always raise, because there is something in them that never dies. There is something in man that that hate in man, that jealousy, that competition, that anger in man never dies. It always survives and destroys anyone who raises against it. So one can raise as Christ in these times, one can raise as Christ in 10,000 years later, but be sure that anywhere such a person will rise, then the biggest majority will raise against him, just as the biggest majority of the people raised against this great teacher called Jesus of Nazareth, and they ended up nailing him on the cross. For what sin? Nothing. He committed no sin. The only sin he committed, according to them, is destroying their norms, is destroying their hate. They wanted to have their right to hate. They wanted to have they wanted to just torment others in peace. So even in these times, the people who love to hate, the people who love to judge, the people who love to persecute, the people who love to prefer themselves over others, if they found a person teaching them to love others as themselves, then they will rather have a gangster around them than this guy. So the most dangerous thing in this world, or the most awkward thing in this world, is to stand for love, or to stand against the norms or the upside down norms of the society or of the masses. So preaching the gospel in truth is standing against the upside down norms of the society, of the biggest percentage, 99.99% of the masses, and that would call for death, or for persecution, or for death penalty, or imprisonment, life imprisonment. So that's a very interesting question, and but I love that question. So the kingdom of Christ was not of this world. Even right now, the kingdom and the teachings of Christ cannot and will not be accepted in this world. So until next time, Meditation is the channel. Please like, share and subscribe, and keep asking such questions. I like it. And peace out.